Namaste students, continuation of the last class on the topic states of matter. Now today we go with the part 3 and in the part 2 we discuss regarding some important gas law. Let us go with the part 3 combined gas equations, at the same time ideal gas and real gases, and also velocity. These three parts that should be discussed. And let us go with the combined gas equations. From these different gases we find two important equations, one from Boyle's law, Charles law, and another one equation from Boyle's law, Charles law, at the same time Avogadro's law. So from Boyle's law and Charles law we find one equation, that is pressure volume divided by temperature is a constant. Suppose a gas present at two different conditions, then P1 V1 divided by T1 is exactly equal to P2 V2 divided by T2. So this is the first combined gas equation. Actually, pressure into volume divided by temperature, it is a constant K. Suppose a gas present at two different conditions, two different states, say 1 and 2, then this is the equation comes. P1 V1 T1 is the initial temperature, pressure and volume. Initial pressure, volume and temperature. T2 V2 T2 are the final pressure, volume and temperature. So those are related by relation. T1 V1 by T1 equal to P2 V2 divided by T2. So where is useful relation? By knowing P1 V1 T1 and then P2 and T2, V2 can be found out. Volume can be found. Final volume can be calculated. Similarly, by knowing the volume V2, P2 and these three terms, temperature, final temperature can be calculated. Similarly, final pressure also can be calculated if you know V2, T2 and these terms. Okay. So this is a useful relation normally one can find. But point to be noted, at STP, okay, at STP, so temperature is considered as a 273 Kelvin, or we can say 0 degrees centigrade. Similarly, pressure considered as a 1 atmospheric pressure. Pressure considered as a 1 atmospheric pressure, but volume is considered, if it is gas present for 1 mole, volume is considered as 22.4 liter. Suppose if 1 mole of gas is present, if other than 1 mole present, then they have to specify in the particular problems. Clear? So this is the most important relation. T1 V1 by T1 equal to P2 V2 by T2. The next comes from Boyle's law, Charles law and Avogadro's law. So according to Boyle's law, it says volume of a given mass of gas is inversely proportional to pressure. This is from Boyle's law. Clear? And then according to Charles law, it says volume of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to temperature. This is from Charles law. Similarly, from Avogadro's law, it is observed that it is observed that volume of a different gases occupied at a constant temperature and pressure contains Avogadro's number of molecules, or you can say 1 mole. So they directly proportional here. So this is from Boyle's law, this is from Charles law, this is from Avogadro's law. Let us take it as equation number 1, equation number 2, or a statement number, it is 3. And if you consider all these, look at that, volume at right hand, left hand side is common, but pressure, temperature, N value, right hand side are different. Since one of the term at the left hand side is common, if left hand side is common, right hand side is also equally one can calculate. So as that V direct proportional to, it is observed that 1 divided by P into T into N, or simply we can say, so P 1 divided by the denominator goes to N, at the same time T, and then P goes to the denominator. So P comes denominator, T and N comes numerator. So as that from these three equations we find V direct proportional to N and D divided by P, and remove proportional symbol by putting constant, that is V equal to R into N into T divided by P. So where R is nothing but a constant called gas constant. R is nothing but a constant called gas constant. This is also called one more name, universal gas constant. We have to remember this, universal gas constant. So V equal to R into N into T divided by V. Or if you bring this P to the left hand side, then what you get? PV equal to N into R into T. So this is the second combined gas equation. Product of pressure into volume equal to N into R into T. where T is nothing but temperature, P volume, P pressure, V is the volume, and then R nothing but a gas constant, where N nothing but number of moles. So it may be 1 mole or a 2 mole or a 3 mole, a number, integer, you can say. So R is nothing but a gas constant. So this is the second equation, and this equation now it is called ideal gas equation. Remember friends, ideal gas equation. So PV equal to nRT is nothing but ideal gas equations. And here R values depends on the energy term. R value depends on the energy term here. Okay. So depends on, actually it is a pressure term. R value, the value of R depends on the pressure. So here let us observe that 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole is the one R value, or you can express R value, that is universal gas constant value, 0.0821 liter atmosphere Kelvin inverse mole inverse. This is in liter atmosphere Kelvin inverse mole inverse. This is joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. This is 0.0823 liter boric Kelvin inverse mole inverse. Look at that, liter boric. And then in terms of erg is another unit, 8.314 into 10 to the power of 7 erg Kelvin inverse mole inverse in terms of erg. Similarly, in terms of a calorie, it is 1.99. That 1.99 approximately taken as a 2 Kelvin inverse mole inverse. Remember, Kelvin inverse mole inverse is common. Only term changes with respect to pressure value and also energy value. You can say joule, here it is liter atmosphere, liter boric, air, erg at the same time Kelvin. So these values we have to remember friends. So that is called as a universal gas constant. And here the N value can also be calculated by using formula. You know, number of moles nothing but mass divided by molecular mass. Using that, if you know mass of a gas and their molecular mass, number of moles also can be calculated, where W stands for mass of a gas, mass of a particular gas molecule, and capital letter M stands for molecular mass, or you can say molar mass. Okay, so these relation and value of R we have to remember. So for computer examination, these two relation, and from that problems normally come across. Let us see the continuation, ideal gas equation and its modified form. You find PV equal to nRT is also called as a combined gas equation, and also called another name ideal gas equations. So we have PV equal to N into R into T. So this is our equation obtained from Boyle's law, Charles law, as well as Avogadro's law. Let us modify this ideal gas equation. You know, number of moles nothing but mass by molecular mass. W stands for mass, M stands for molecular mass. Now substitute the value of N, W by M in this equation. Then what we find? PV equal to, in place of N, W by M into R into T. Okay, this is another modified equation in terms of a mass and molecular mass also. PV equal to W by M into R into T. But you know another term, density. In case of physics, density is nothing but mass by volume. And if you rearrange this equation, bring volume term to the denominator, then what you find? P equal to W into R into T divided by M into V. So P equal to W into R into T divided by V into M. So if you bring volume to the denominator, you know mass by volume nothing but density. Mass by volume nothing but density. As this particular term you consider it has a deep density. As that another modified equation in terms of density also, pressure equal to dRT divided by M. So this is another modified ideal gas equations. So these equations we have to remember, because in computer exam questions normally comes from this equation. By using this equation we have to solve some problems. So PV equal to nRT, PV equal to W by M into R into T, or P equal to dRT divided by M. In all three equations, in all these two equations, molecular mass present in the denominator. That is, pressure and volume inversely proportional to molecular mass. Mainly, pressure is inversely proportional to molecular mass. Okay. So this is the relation. Now, from this equation, we can find molecular mass. So what is the advantage of this? If you know unknown gas and you have to identify what type of gas it is, so the best tool for the identification of the nature of the gas, find out the molecular mass. If the molecular mass matches with our unknown gas molecule, then we can identify the correct molecule or a gas molecule present. As that using this equation, it is possible to find out the molecular mass. So molecular mass equal to WRT divided by P into D. If you know mass of a gas, W, temperature at which the gas molecule present, pressure, at the same time volume of the gas, you know R value already constant, it is possible to find out the mass, molecular mass of a given particular unknown gas. Using molecular mass, it is possible to find the type of a gas molecule. What is the meaning of that? After calculation, suppose if you get a molecular mass is 44, then what is the conclusion? That molecule may be carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide shows molecular mass 44. Similarly, after calculation, if you find molecular mass is 4, then what type of gas? It may be helium gas. Similarly, after calculation, molecular mass if it is found 2, then what may be the gas? It may be hydrogen gas. Like that, nature of the gas can be identified by using molecular mass. That is one of the important advantage. Another advantage, density of the gas can be calculated. Weight, their lightness, or you can say dense property. So density can be found using this relation. So density equal to pressure into mass, molecular mass divided by R into T. And using density, it is possible to find out the molecular mass. Another relation from the above, that is using density. Density can be found, but if you know density, molecular mass also can be calculated by using another relation. Molecular mass equal to dRT divided by T into A. That means molecular mass can be calculated, and if you know molecular mass, density can be calculated, or if you know density, molecular mass can be calculated. So all these interlinks. If you know one, other one can be calculated using this modified ideal gas equation. Whatever the relation it is, put it inside the box. All those are very important relations. Normally for competitive examination point of view, these relations are very, very important. Especially this density and molecular mass calculation are very, very important. We have to note these relations stories. Let us go with the types of gases based on gas law. Types of gas based on the gas law. There are two variety gases one can find based on the Boyle's law, Charles law, and all those gas law. One is called ideal gas, another one is called as a real gas. Ideal gas, another one is called as a real gas. What is this ideal gas? So ideal gas is given that should obey almost all gas law. Basically Boyle's law, Charles law, and Avogadro's law. If a gas molecule shows Boyle's law, that is volume inversely proportional to pressure, and then Charles law, volume directly proportional to temperature, Avogadro's law, volume directly proportional to number of gas molecule. If it is basically follows this law, then such a gas is nothing but ideal gas. But for a real gas, it should not obey all these gases. Should not obey gas law. Suppose a gas obey Boyle's law, may not obey Charles law. Suppose a gas obey Charles law, may not obey Avogadro's law. That means it should not obey all the gas law. Then such gases are called as real gases. And here it is observed that, very important, none of the gas present in our universe is ideal nature. So as well as this is one hypothetical type of classification of or a type of a gas molecule. So here it is, none of the gas is ideal, and whatever the gas molecules are available in our nature, all those are found to be real gas. So all gases are real. But it is observed that if you vary the temperature and pressure to a little extent, hydrogen and helium, friends, you have to remember, hydrogen and helium, these shows little, nearly ideal behavior. Actually, hydrogen and helium shows to maximum extent a real character, real gases actually. But if you alter little temperature and pressure, hydrogen and helium, their property shows ideal gas property. What is the meaning of ideal gas property? It shows all these Boyle's law, Charles law, Avogadro's law, obeys all these gas law. But whatever the gases are there, I give some example: nitrogen gas, oxygen gas, ammonia gas, hydrochloric acid gas, chlorine gas, fluorine gas, and all noble gases. All those are found to be real gases in nature. And in case of a real gases, if it is obey one law, it will not obey another law. That means do not obey all the gas law. So this is a point to be noted. Almost all gases are found to be real in nature, but only few of them are, and they are nearly ideal, not ideal. They are nearly hydrogen and helium, and none of the gas molecules are found to be ideal gas. Now one question it is arises. What is that basic question here? So what is the condition for an ideal gas or real gas? How you consider these gases are real gases or all gases are real gases? Remember, for an ideal gas, the two conditions should be satisfied. Apart from this mathematical condition, what are those two conditions? Force of attractions between the gas molecule must be negligible. Or we can say there should not be any force of attractions takes place between gas molecule. That's the first condition. Second condition is volume occupied by these gas molecules should be negligible. So if it is satisfies these two conditions, then that gas is considered as a ideal gas. So condition for ideal gas is the volume occupied by those gas molecule is negligibly small, or it is impossible to measure the value. And second one, the force of attraction between the gas molecule must be, it is zero or very minimum. But it is observed that almost all gas molecule, because of its electron cloud or a size factor or a molecular mass, there is a force of attraction present. At least van der Waals force is also there. As well as all gases, they show force of attraction as well as their volume or a size can be measured. That is why all those are considered as a real gas. But at high temperature and low pressure, the volume as well as force of attraction observed in these gases are zero observed. That is why hydrogen and helium act as a ideal gas at high temperature and low pressure condition. Little high temperature and low pressure condition. So that is one of the characteristic property for ideal gas. So for ideal gas, volume occupied by the gas molecule is negligible. Second point, no force of attraction or repulsion present. But for a real gas, there is a large force of attraction and repulsion present. At the same time, volume occupied by these gas molecule is not negligibly small. So that is about the condition. We have to look about that theoretical part. Let us see the compressibility factor. So this is about the mathematical relation that is identified for a gas, whether it shows real gas or we can say ideal gas. So compressibility factor, symbolic representation is Z. So it is simply ratio of pressure volume to that of nRT. You know PV equal to nRT, isn't it? PV equal to N into R into T. Now take a ratio of that. If you bring PV here, what you get? Pressure into volume divided by nRT, we get 1. Suppose if you find for the ideal gas, that ratio must be equal to 1. But for real gas, it is not equal to 1, it is more than 1 also. So ratio of pressure volume to that of nRT nothing but Z value. That is compressibility factor. And compressibility factor Z equal to 1 for ideal gas. That means the numerator and denominator, their ratio must be 1. Cancel with each other, it must be 1. That is for ideal gas. Not equal to 0 or it is not equal to 1. That is for real gases. This is the point to be noted. So there is a basic way of identification of whether the given gas at that particular temperature, pressure and volume, whether it is real gas or ideal gas, using this relation. Z equal to 1, that is for ideal gas. Z not equal to 1, that is for real gas. And if not equal to 1, then there are two possibilities are there. Positive value or it may be negative value. Not equal to 1 means it may be negative value or it may be positive value. Suppose if Z is greater than 1, that is called positive value, then what is the conclusion? It says a positive deviation observed from the ideal behavior of a gas. That gas molecule shows positive deviation from the ideal behavior. Suppose if Z value is less than 1, then what is the conclusion? The negative deviation observed from the ideal behavior of that particular gas. Greater than 1, positive deviation from the ideal gas, and less than 1, nothing but the negative deviation from ideal gas. What does this indicate? Why the positive deviation observed? Why negative deviation observed? So it is observed that for a positive deviation, attraction must be less. Deviation more, nothing but attraction must be less. So less attraction between the gas molecule. And for negative deviation, attraction must be more present between the gas molecule. So in that way, using this relation, easy to find whether the given gas is ideal or it may be the real gas. A very easy way for the identification of the nature of the gas. Let us go with the velocity of the gas molecules. If a container containing any gas of any quantity, it may be 2 mole or 3 mole, it should be closed. Whatever the gas molecules present in that container, that will move with 3 variety of speed, or we can say velocity. All the gas molecules will not move with the same velocity. Some of the molecule will move with a higher velocity. Some of the gas molecule will move with a lower velocity. or the gas molecule present near the wall of the container go with one velocity, middle of the container go with another velocity. As a result, three variety of velocity one can find. This is purely based on theoretical part. Maxwell, Boltzmann, and those are the scientists. They working with respect to the behavior of a gas molecule. In that, one of the term velocity of gas molecule comes. So according to those Maxwell, Boltzmann, there are three category velocities are there. One is called most probable velocity. Most probable velocity. Second one, average velocity. Third one called root mean square velocity. Remember these three. So most probable velocity, average velocity, root mean square velocity. Most probable velocity symbolically represented VMT. V stands for velocity. M nothing but most, P nothing but probable. VMT, most probable velocity. VAV, nothing but average velocity. VRMS, nothing but root mean square velocity. And what is the meaning of this? Most probable, nothing but the maximum extent the molecule will move with one velocity. Let us say a gas molecule contains 100 molecules. A container contains 100 gas molecules. Whether all 100 gas molecules move with the same speed? No, not at all. Out of which a maximum extent, let us say 60 molecules move with one particular velocity. Then that is nothing but most probable velocity, average velocity, or you can say the maximum molecule that is going with one particular velocity, and that is basically calculated using relation square root of 2RT divided by m. So most probable velocity equal to whole square root of 2RT divided by m. Okay, and you know PV equal to nRT. If you substitute n equal to 1, PV equal to RT, or RT equal to PV, that's the modified equation in terms of pressure and volume, square root of T 2PV divided by m. So this is the relation in case of a most probable velocity. You have to remember, students. Next comes average velocity. Average velocity tells about average value. That is the average calculation. Average value of velocity of different gas molecules present in that particular container. And that is measured by using relation 8RT divided by pi into m. Whole square root of 8RT divided by pi into m. Again, you know PV equal to nRT. For 1 mole of a gas, n equal to 1. So PV equal to RT. In place of RT, we can substitute PV. So we get square root of 8 PV divided by pi into m. So this is the equation used to find average velocity of a gas molecule. The last comes root mean square velocity. So it says that square root of means of squares of velocity of a molecule. Square root of means of squares of velocity. So that is measured using relation whole square root of 3RT divided by m. And you know again PV equal to nRT. For 1 mole PV equal to RT. As a result RT replaced by PV, we get one more relation whole square root of 3 PV divided by m. In all the cases square root is there. So this is the relation used to find out the RMS velocity. And all these three relations you have to remember, and definitely a question from this particular relation also. So most probable velocity square root of 2RT divided by m, or square root of 2 PV divided by m. Similarly, average velocity square root of 8RT divided by pi m, or square root of 8 PV divided by pi into m. Similarly, RMS velocity whole square root of 3RT divided by m, or whole square root of 3 PV divided by m. And this also can be written in terms of density. You know, mass by volume nothing but density. Isn't it? Mass by volume density, or volume by mass nothing but 1 by density. This is also can be written whole square root of 2p divided by d. Similarly, 2p divided by pi into d. 8p divided by pi into d. Similarly, whole square root of 3p divided by d. Like that, in terms of density also it is related. A relation can be done. But for the computer exam point of view, this relation in terms of pressure, volume and temperature are more important. Suppose a gas molecule showing these three velocities, then what about the ratio between most probable, average velocity as well as RMS velocity? Suppose a gas present at particular temperature, volume, pressure remains constant. Then if you take the ratio, R value, T value as well as M value will cancel out. What is left? A square root of 2 left for the most probable velocity, and then for average velocity square root of 8 by pi left. Similarly for RMS square root of 3 observed. That's why if you take the ratio after cancelling all these R, T, M terms in all the cases, what is left? Square root of 2. So for most probable velocity square root of 2 left, and and then for average velocity square root of 8 by pi left, and for RMS velocity square root of 3 left. And if you calculate the ratio found to be for every 1 ratio of most probable velocity, 1.19 ratio of average velocity observed, and then RMS velocity found to be 1.224. So this ratio indicates among these three velocity, the gas molecule shows which velocity is found to be more. RMS velocity found to be more rather than the average velocity, and least that will goes to most probable velocity. So this relation or ratio we have to write. So that is regarding the velocity of gas molecule. This is purely theoretical base calculated using some statistics behavior of a gas molecule that is studied using Boltzmann and Maxwell. Students, let us we have two problems in our side. The first one, when a real gas molecule shows ideal gas behavior. When a real gas molecule shows ideal gas behavior. Similarly, the second question, when a real gas shows maximum deviation from ideal gas behavior. That means we have a real gas. At what conditions of temperature and pressure that real gas shows ideal gas? That is the first question. The second question, we have a real gas. At what temperature and pressure it shows maximum deviation from ideal gas? Okay, that is the question here is asked in terms of temperature and pressure to be answered. Here it is observed that so real gas shows ideal behavior at high temperature and low pressure. Remember, high temperature and low pressure is the most important. High temperature and low pressure real gas shows ideal behavior, and for a maximum deviation, just reverse that. Low temperature and high pressure. Low temperature and high pressure, it will show maximum deviation from ideal gas behavior in terms of temperature and pressure. Okay. Another condition already said, if force of attraction between the molecule is 0, then it shows ideal gas. Or volume is negligibly small, then it is ideal gas. But practically it is not possible to bring a volume of a gas molecule to negligibly small amount, and also force of attraction cannot be stopped. But it is possible at minus 273.15, but practically that particular temperature not possible to reach it. Okay, that is called absolute temperature. So this is all conditions where we have to let us go with some equations. For ideal gas, it is considered as the ideal gas equation, PV equal to nRT. For real gas also, modified one equation is there. That is called Van der Waals equation. That is given by relation P plus AN square by V square minus V minus NV equal to R into D. So this is the equation. P plus AN square by V square minus V minus NV equal to nRT. Where N nothing but number of moles, P, V, you know, pressure and volume. And then A and B are called constant, called Van der Waals constant, that depends on the nature of the gas present. And then here N nothing but number of moles, R nothing but gas constant, universal gas constant. So this is the equation for real gas, this is the one of the equation for ideal gas. Remember that. Next we want to know the small part, that is liquefaction of a gas. What is the meaning of liquefaction? There are two technical terms of it. Liquefaction, other one liquefaction. So liquefaction means conversion from solid to liquid, that is liquefaction. But conversion from gas to liquid, nothing but liquefaction. So we have a gas and that is converted to liquid, and when it is happened, if you decrease the temperature or if you increase the pressure. So let us go with the decrease of temperature. If you decrease temperature at one particular temperature onward, the gas molecule starts liquid formation. Because at that temperature onward, there is a force of attraction increases, repulsion decrease. Thereby gas molecule tend to show liquid formation, and that particular temperature where gas starts liquid formation is nothing but critical temperature. So at and above critical temperature, gas molecule always in a gaseous state, but below the critical temperature, gas starts liquid formation. Okay, so that temperature is nothing but critical temperature. Critical temperature is different for different gases. And here it is observed that a critical temperature of that particular gas directly proportional to liquefaction of a gas. So a gas with higher critical temperature, liquid formation first takes place. A gas with a lower critical temperature next, like that we can find. So critical temperature is directly proportional to liquefaction tendency of that particular gas. And let us go with one problem here. So a gas, that is A and B are the two gases present. present, 27 degrees centigrade and 19 degrees centigrade are the critical temperature. Now tell me whether gas A liquid formation takes place first or B shows first. Yes, it is observed that higher the critical temperature, liquefaction first, as well 27 degrees more than the 19 degree. That is why the gas molecule A shows liquid formation first, after that gas molecule B. So all this with respect to the liquefaction of the gas. Thank you.